Hello, everybody! This is Obey2 coming at you with my review of episode 2 of Brynhildr in the Darkness. Yes, this is the other series I decided to review week to week. So let's get into this. Now, this episode series seems different. I got hooked by the first episode and I decided I need to review this week to week, so here I am. So let's get into this a little more. Now, so far we know Ryota knows he's drawn to Kuroha. He knows he's drawn to her. He doesn't precisely know why. He thinks it could be because she looks just like his childhood friend who supposedly died, but he does not know for sure himself. So at the beginning of the episode, he's given two forms to bring to Kuroha, which are the final paperwork for transferring the class as a transfer student, and a pamphlet for a school trip to the beach. And he's given her so-called address, and he gets there, and as he's going up, we see a nice long train of military vehicles go by, and I thought that was peculiar, and I was right, so I'll get to that a little later. But he gets up to the top, and it's just the address turns out to be just a vantage point at the top of the hill. And he looks down and he notices an old abandoned village that was supposed to be flooded when they put the dam in, but it's there. And he decides, oh, that's possibly a good place to hide. So he goes down there and he finds her. And she's living in the village, trying to hide. And she's got another witch with her, Kana. And Kana cannot speak, talk, move. She's paralyzed except for one hand, where she uses a little device to talk with. So we are introduced to Kana as well, which is really interesting because this is bringing another witch into the element of the storyline. And we find out part of the reason why she does not want anything to do with Ryota anymore is because not just if the witches are captured, they'll be killed, but anyone who's associating with them and helping them hide will be killed. So she wants to protect him. She wants to keep them safe from being killed if they get caught. So we have that aspect in the story in this episode. It's really interesting to me. But for some reason, he just cannot leave her be. And in the end, he gets her to pass in the courses, and she does enroll in the class. But for some reason, because she was held up in the laboratory so long, she doesn't know her math. She barely knows kanji. She really doesn't know anything. So he's like, how did the hell did you even get into this class, in this school, if you don't know how to read or math or any of this stuff? So I want to find that out, how she managed to worm her way into this class if she could not do all this stuff. So that's really interesting. But later on, we see what was in the convoy. It was more witches. And the little melting in the back. For some reason, when they eject it, the witch just melted away. So we have that aspect. It's like, then what is this doing other than giving them the power? Why are they melting when it ejects? What's happening here? I'm very curious about that. I am wondering what's happening with the storyline. I want more information on the witches. And I'm not, again, 100% convinced that Kuroha is not the girl from his past. Not the girl that supposedly died. I think that they picked up her body and turned her into the witch, and found a way to erase the moles to hide who she actually was. So I think this thing with the witches is very deep. There's more going on there than we know. Even though this is only episode 2, I believe there's a lot more going on. There's some sort of conspiracy. I want to know why they made the witches too. Why they engineered these witches. What their reason behind this was. What their purpose was for making them. And why it's so top secret that if the witches are caught, they're going to be killed, and any human associating with them will be killed. So I want to know that as well. This is very interesting to me. I'm looking forward to seeing more. But I like this episode quite a bit. I like the groove between them. I thought it was interesting when they fed Kana, because she can't chew, but she can swallow, so they threw the cakes in the blender and blended them up and just basically spoon-fed them to her. So I was interested with that part as well. But, again, this was an interesting episode. I like the character development. I like that within episode 2, they added a brand new character automatically in. So it brings up the count, and I'm hoping to see more witches brought in and see what happens. Thus, this is the old boy 82 saying, if you like this video, please click like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. This is your boy 82 signing out!